News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use Kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person, you don't understand how all this works, so let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off, and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any, you can't afford them. What do? You can take Kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try. I summon the ghost into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it. This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts. So this is where the ghosts live, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel. Gross. Nothing. Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts. There's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test. Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested. Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinry from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think we found the ghost. Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid?
You know, you probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism. And they say they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah, you're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett, when you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist. Polite
It's
about
just
it.
not the polite way to have sex.
That's just
I-
really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise.
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you.
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as hell.
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, they're
Hey, Street Fighters, welcome to the show. It's Wednesday night, time for your Street Fight. I hope you're having a great time. We're here live on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube recording the show. If you can't make it, you can listen to it as a podcast. That's how we got started. But we also love to hear from all y'all in the chat. Zora, Macau, hey, how's it going? Thanks for being here. My name is Brett. My co-host is Brian. We're Street Fight Radio, number one anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. And been working hard on TV show stuff recently, nailing things down, working on getting a shoot schedule together, and getting that ticket for Nick from Means to fly out here and get this thing done. If you want to support the show, head to patreon.com/streetfightradio. You get bonus audio, bonus video. There's an archive of zines available. And at some point, some streams from me as I get my life together and figure out a better schedule. Thank you for being here. How's it going, Brian?
I thought you were going to say mailing things in. Like mailing it in instead of mailing it down. For the TV show. We're fucking mailing it in, you know?
Yeah.
That's a positive thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mailing it in. We are really nailing things down somewhat. I mean, you know, it never feels like anything gets done.
Yeah.
Things are getting done.
Things are moving forward.
I'm not used to working in the real world where, like, things get done.
You need deliverables, and there's ingests.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, wow, okay, things are getting done. Look at that. Yeah. How you doing? How's everything in the divorced world? Did you get your first issue of Divorced magazine?
No, that didn't come out. I don't know. I thought maybe I lapsed.
It's got swords on the cover and, like, you know, the football box scores.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino movie reviews every month. Just all the Quentin Tarantino movies get reviewed.
Different writers reviewing Tarantino.
Yeah. Yep. Eminem song lyrics.
Yeah.
Eminem centerfold. I'm not afraid to go to court. No, how you doing? How's it going? Really?
All right. I haven't been doing much. I moved this Friday. So tomorrow, basically, I got to wake up and put all my shit in boxes and get ready to move it on Friday, essentially. And it's something I do not want to do.
Luckily, you moved recently.
That is true.
Throwing your shit in boxes is going, and you don't have to pack up this room.
Right. Not yet.
Yeah, we will, but I'm going to help with that. So maybe. I mean, my wife will definitely help with it. You know, she'll come over and pack stuff.
Sure.
I'll probably fucking stand around and say, throw this away, keep this, you know?
Right.
Whatever needs to get done. Whatever. I'll be of service. You know, Jason will be here. Jake might. Jason, right before we recorded, cut the chunkiest fart. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, like, bring that up, like, right off the top, but it was just, like, there was no air in there, you know?
Okay.
But I'm eating right. I'm eating right again.
That's good.
In a good mood. I've been in a good mood all day.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about watching your caloric intake move around during the day that makes you feel confidence a little bit.
Yeah.
If you don't fuck it up, you know?
Well, you're better informed.
I am informed.
For someone like you that assumes that, like, you made all bad decisions all the time, it's better to at least know what is actually going on, you know?
Yeah, I was going to tell you, I have discovered maybe one of my fatal issues, my big flaws in my eating before this week. It took me 2 days to figure it out. When I woke up, I'd taken maybe 70 calories.
Yeah.
And then I burn 1,500 to 2,000. And then I fucking come home and eat, maybe 1,000 for dinner. Maybe. And then where does that put you? And what does your body decide it needs? And then in the middle of the, you know, right around midnight, it says, hey, we're going to fucking make up all this lost time, baby.
Yeah.
You know, let's fucking do it. What kind of fucking treats do we have? And then, you know, my shopping brain is always like, gotta get those treats, baby. We gotta be in the treat section of the store most of the time.
Okay.
And then, so I think maybe part of my problem was just not really understanding how much I was burning and that I needed a certain amount. I mean, when I looked at it after, you know, you take your calories and you check what amount you've had, and you kind of look at it and it's like, okay, so like I've had maybe 1,500 by 7 p.m. and puts you at a deficit of just like way too much to be at that deficit at that time of the day.
Yeah.
You know? So like this past 2 days, the first day was rough, but this past 2 days, the nighttime has been a lot easier after like kind of discovering that.
Yeah, you got to get ahead of it.
Yeah, because you don't think about. I just don't think people. I thought I was burning 70 calories a day. You know, like walking
for 7 hours.
6, 5. You know, I haven't got a good 9-hour one in yet in 2021. I'm going to. It just hasn't happened yet. My sleep schedule's dicked all up, you know. I get up at like, well, I've started to move my wake up time to earlier. I was getting up at 1, then noon, now it's 11:30, and then, you know, eventually try to get down to 10.
Okay.
10 is like the crack of dawn for me. That is the earliest. It's maybe 9:30. I didn't fucking get into the podcasting game to wake up early.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a teenager that's a podcaster. Why would I wake up?
Yeah, Peter Pan style.
Yeah. I mean, why? I don't have to wake up for my kid. She can do all the stuff on her own. You know? There's nothing she needs me for. I'm trying to think. No.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while, she'll ask me to pick her up from school for lunch and bring her home and then take her back to school. But I don't even do it. I just am like, I'm asleep. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know? You don't need to come home. Go fucking sit on a lawn or something.
Right.
Because they got to leave the school to eat lunch.
Okay.
You had to choose. On day 1 of full back to school, you had to choose whether you wanted to eat lunch at school or out of school. And you have to stick with that for the rest of the year.
Weird.
I know. Yeah, because teenagers are really good at making decisions and are not impulsive at all, you know? I mean, now that she's vaxxed, I wouldn't even care if she ate at school. Really? I mean, she's half there. But you see what I'm saying, though? Like, once she's fully in, it's just kind of like, eat at the school. I don't give a fuck, you know? But she's not allowed now.
Yeah.
She chose to leave. So, she's been leaving for lunch, which is just not something that happened back in my day.
Yeah.
Hey, back in my day, you weren't allowed to leave school for lunch because they knew you were going to smoke cigarettes.
We were allowed to leave.
That's crazy.
Only as seniors, though, I think. It used to be 11th and 12th grade. I think when I was in 10th, they took it away, so we had to wait one more year. But in 12th grade, you could leave.
Oh, they took it away in 10th grade?
No, they took away 11th grade when I was in 10th grade. I thought the next year I was going to be able to go, and they were like, that's not going to be that way next year.
So, like, what happened with my school was in 10th grade, there was no real attendance policy. So, if you wanted to leave early, you could get somebody to write a letter for you in a different kind of handwriting, and they would just give you an early dismissal pass without even checking. So, that's what I would do. I would just leave every day early. And, or you just skip. You know, sometimes you're like, I want to do this the legit way, and sometimes you're like, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to be here.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to do anything. I'm not here to learn. So I was doing that for the first year, and then, I mean, they just were like, you're not leaving this school. But I did also go to school off of a 50-mile-an-hour road. It was like where if somebody was like, we're going to go to lunch and I'm going to walk somewhere to eat lunch, there wasn't a place to walk to eat lunch, you know. And they knew a bunch of us weren't going to come back. I think that's really the issue, was just kind of like, these kids are fucking, we're the bad district. These kids aren't going to fucking come back. Once they're out those doors, man, we're not going to get them back.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Seeing how lightly they treat the kids now, I'm just like, damn, man, lucky you. Leave them for lunch, So,
yeah, it's a different situation.
Way different. You can trust these kids,
right?
So I
did. Oh, no, go ahead. It's fine. Everything.
I was reading about the George Floyd trial today.
The Derek Chauvin trial.
Yeah, I call it the George Floyd trial because I'm stupid.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna point that out.
Yeah, it is the Derek Chauvin trial. Yeah. I should have said that, right? And the other big shooting but one of the things,
Harris.
Yeah, but by the woman who fucking said I thought I was grabbing my taser, and then killed somebody.
Yeah,
that one.
Yes,
that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. And the New York Times said they found 15 other cases.
Right, sorry.
The New York Times said they found 15 other cases of this happening. Now, what does that mean for the amount of this that actually happened? One. And two, I don't believe it. I don't believe that's all a work. That woman shot that guy, knew it was going to get her in trouble, and said I was just trying to grab my taser.
Yeah, it seems like something maybe you heard about somebody else doing.
14 other people.
Yeah, you've heard, like, if you've been policing that long, you're like, well, shit, if I just say that, and then it'll at least give me some plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Her ass got arrested today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they're charging, in Minneapolis, they're actually charging people with shit. And, it brings her plea down, too. To be like, oh, I was actually grabbing my taser.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think seeing what happens with Derek Chauvin is going to be telling about this thing. Because, like, that just that really works me, man. I'm just like, I'm ready to have my heart broken. Like the Amazon Union drive. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to have my heart broken for this. Not that I think prison is some big, great thing. But, if George Floyd had shot somebody, he would have gone to prison.
Yeah. Yeah, or killed somebody.
Choked somebody to death.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If George Floyd had done that, he would have gone to prison.
Yeah, I mean, there's just an absolute distrust of black males. Like, the police literally view them as the enemy, view them, like, they, in their mind, think that they are just these incredibly violent people that are inherently, like that. And so we get this situation where somebody doesn't want to get arrested and then they get killed for it, And they were going after him for what they say, an air freshener violation.
That was the thing, is I read a whole piece by his mentor, this guy that was his mentor, who said he feels guilty because he should have mentioned the air freshener is a reason that the Minneapolis police are allowed to pull you over, and it's been upheld by the Supreme Court. So
if you have oh man, that's like basically targeting weed smokers too. That's who I had. That's why I had mine.
I mean, we have them. You're just not allowed to hang anything from your
right. I have one too, I guess.
Thing that obstructs view.
Right.
But you can make the case that the pine tree obstructs view if
Sure.
you want. If you're being totally dishonest and racist, that's what you can fucking do. Because I had to find out what they meant by the air freshener. What do you mean air freshener? Like, I thought they were like profiling with like some certain kind of air freshener, and then it just finds out it's just any air freshener up in your window. You can't hang your fucking graduation tassel from your window if you're black, because the police will just use it to pull you over and harass you. I mean, if that's the only like, there used to be this thing in Ohio before everything. I mean, in the early days of the seatbelt law, where it was not legal to pull somebody over for not wearing a seatbelt.
Yes.
But you could get the seatbelt ticket if you got pulled over. And they ended up changing that.
Right.
So they can now pull you over for not wearing your seatbelt because, God knows we need to have as many reasons for the police to pull you over as possible.
Yeah, and the warrant out for his arrest was basically because they mailed it to the wrong address. They had the wrong address on file, so he got a warrant for not showing up to court.
I've seen that happen too.
And then then that woman killed him.
She executed him.
And I don't know. I also, in that moment, he was not attacking her. There was.
I didn't see the video. I can't watch I just saw the George Floyd video for the first time recently.
Yeah. And
it shattered me. I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was the video pretty?
I didn't watch the video actually.
Oh, you didn't watch the video either?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're hard to watch, man. I know that maybe I don't know. I don't know what the idea. Like, are you supposed to watch? Are we supposed to watch them? Like, is it we're supposed to subject yourself, like, to see with your own eyes what's happening? Or is it okay to be like, I can't keep watching the police kill black guys? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I just can't do it.
No, I think a lot of people made that. It's overshared. We know it's happening. We need to raise awareness, of course. But yeah, I don't know if making everybody watch that, how it's going to change. But yeah, I usually watch them because it does make me feel more like steadfast in my beliefs of we have to stop this shit.
I know.
But like what I was getting at is like you lift up a gun, it's way heavier than a fucking taser. It's way louder than a fucking taser. You shoot more than once. Like you don't empty the clip on a fucking taser, you know?
That is fucking true. You don't pull the trigger more than once on a taser. Don't you only just pull it one time?
Yeah, you just pull it and it shoots the fucking electrodes.
And then you have to load another electrode if you were wanting to shoot it again.
Yeah.
How many times did she shoot?
I'm not sure.
More than once, though? Fuck me, man. Fuck me.
We should have done more reading on it.
I know. I should have told you that I was going to talk about it. I actually kind of made the decision right before I came over here, so I didn't do the reading, so that's my fault. I just you usually know more. You usually pay attention to it. You know what you usually read all the news stories and inform me. I inform you about professional wrestling, and you inform me about police abuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't had the best week, so...
I know. I'm not yelling at you.
I know. Just saying, I just have been sitting in place like a stone or just sleeping as much as I can.
You'll get there, man. You're almost there.
I know.
Move out on Friday, and then you can fucking order pizza for dinner every night.
Not gonna do that.
You can.
I'm not gonna do that.
But you can.
But I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. Smoke weed in the house, you know?
Yeah.
You fucking roll up a big J-bone and smoke it by yourself, you know?
Yeah.
You can. But yeah.
Go ahead.
I think tasers are also like, they're a really boxy shape. Like they're just so much different from a gun. You know? They don't look the same. And you know what? If there's a possibility that you could think you were going to tase somebody and shoot somebody, they can't carry. They got to stop carrying them. They either got to stop carrying the gun or the taser. You're not allowed to carry those anymore.
Right.
Because now you're fucking getting them mixed up and killing people. But again, I think that's all a work. I don't believe that she accidentally pulled the taser. I feel like I watched The Shield recently, and I know that is a fake show. It's 100% fake. It's all fantasy. But one thing that always struck me as true about that show,
okay,
that maybe they didn't even know it's true and they stumbled upon it, but like whenever the cops shot somebody or brutalized somebody or something like that, they would then talk to the other people that come to the scene or are at the scene and get their story straight before they took it to whoever had, you know what I mean?
That's how
like
they do it.
they would be like, oh, tell them you were gonna try to grab your taser, and it's right next to your gun. So apparently you're just gonna. That's what she did,
Yeah.
And it was just. I just can't. I can't believe it. I hope none of them get away with it, you know. But the Derek Chauvin thing that I saw that was just like infuriating was the defense was calling their witnesses today, and they called a guy called a use of force expert. And I really wanted to fucking find out more about this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they told us that in a piece in the New York Times, they kind of just were keeping you updated and telling you what the guy was saying.
Yeah.
But good Lord, I can't imagine he's ever disagreed with the use of force.
I agree. That's they're doing this. They do the same thing with. They're doing a civilian review board now for the police in Columbus that got voted in. One of the people on there is a retired fucking police officer. So it's like, that's just like that's not a civilian board anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's on the different team. Yeah, he's getting fucking cop pension. He's not a civilian. I don't care if he's retired. That's a fucking cop. That's not a civilian.
They put a cop on it?
I don't know if it's not finalized yet.
Retired?
Yes, retired.
Yeah, they take each other's side. And use of force.
Use of force is also, I bet, like an old police captain that studied the books real well or wrote the manual on use of force.
Yeah, and the manuals on use of force is that you can never have enough force. You know, that's basically what they started out. That's the slogan. Police, you can never have enough force. You know, you shoot somebody 4 times. I don't know. But, yeah. I just, and then they also had, what?
Go ahead.
They also had some other piece of garbage who said that Derek Chauvin's knee didn't kill George Floyd. It was the exhaust from the car.
Oh,
he
no.
was down by the exhaust pipe.
No.
And his heart was already fucked up, and the exhaust from the car is what killed him. Which, by the way, why was his head by the exhaust pipe? How did his head get down there by the exhaust pipe to kill him? Maybe Derek Chauvin did it, you know? I just really hope this guy gets his. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, it seems like this is the sort of thing. It's like, it reminds me of like, and I was so dumb at this time, and I was probably 10 or 11, 13. I was 13 years old when Rodney King happened. And I totally remember seeing the tape and then hearing the not guilty. And being utterly fucking shocked by it. Like, what? Wait a minute. Are they saying... Well, I didn't understand what not guilty meant, but I was like, are they saying they didn't beat the fucking shit out of this guy? Because I saw them on tape beating the fucking shit out of this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I saw him... You got to see the pictures of him, the aftermath of it, too. And they really kicked this...
Oh, yeah.
They really went in on him, you know? And I remember being like...
They looked happy to do it. They were, like, enjoying it. They were winding up and shit.
Yeah, and you just start to think, like, these guys just love beating people up.
Justified violence.
People. They love it.
Justified violence. It's like, it's the height of, like, macho masculinity bullshit is like violence is a necessary evil, and it just is how you dole it out decides like how virtuous you are.
Yeah.
But so I'm sorry, that cop is actually on the civilian review board. Mayor Ginther announced his people. You want to hear some of these folks?
Yeah, I would love to hear some of these folks.
Janet Jackson, former Columbus City attorney, former Franklin County Municipal Court judge. So once again, I don't trust judge. I don't trust the fucking judge.
That's not a civilian. It feels like having a bunch of people that are part of the legal profession is not having civilians.
Yeah.
What about a guy that works at fucking Target? Can we get a guy that works at Target there? Or like a fucking woman that's a babysitter or like a fucking preschool teacher? Like anything.
Yeah.
That's not a fucking cop or a judge or a lawyer.
Chanel Jones of the Northeast Side, member of the Safety Advisory Commission and professor at Franklin University, specializes in crime and how it intersects with race as well as juvenile delinquency.
That's probably
that sounds good.
Yeah. They weren't going to give us like Morgan Harper or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
They weren't going to give us somebody that was radical.
Mark Fluharty, executive director of the Central Ohio Labor Council.
What kind of name is Foolhardy? Mark Foolhardy.
He said in his application he has handled disputes through arbitration in the past. What does that mean?
That's like a lot different from cops killing people.
Here's the one. Willard McIntosh, 56, a retired Columbus police officer and a veteran of the Air Force. He worked at the City Division of Police's training academy for 16 of his 30 years. So he worked at the training.
He's probably going to shoot somebody from the review board. You know what I mean? Like, this fucking guy, he sounds horrible.
Rich Nathan, the pastor of Vineyard.
Whoa, Rich Nathan?
Yeah, Rich Nathan.
Damn, Nathan,
not
doing
broke,
it.
Not broke Nathan.
Get it, Nathan.
Pastor of Vineyard Columbus, one of the city's largest church. He's also an inactive attorney and member of the bar.
Fucking Rich Nathan works for the church.
Yeah, a pastor. I don't trust.
Pastor
I don't trust the
Rich
churches
Nathan.
either.
I don't.
The Blue Lives Matter and the fucking church go hand in hand on a lot of shit.
What's the church?
Vineyard Columbus.
Vineyard. I think that is not one of the. That's not one of the good ones.
Kyle Strickland, 30, lawyer at Ohio State. Kirwan Institute for the Study of Race and Ethnicity, a liberal think tank based in New York. All right.
A liberal think tank based in New York?
Yeah, that's where he graduated from or worked.
All right, I'll let that slide.
Randall Sistrunk, Director of Business Development for Orange Barrel Media.
Oh, these guys, these Orange Barrel Media, they make big billboards. Basically,
they do.
That's like their whole gimmick is like, they're like, oh, Rogue Fitness, we'll make a billboard the size of 3 buildings.
Yes.
And
we'll put sparks that fly off of it.
Yeah.
Or they did the cheeky Nationwide ad that made fun of Les Wexner.
Oh, did they do that one? All right. Well,
yeah, they did a Life
edgy.
Comes at You Fast, and then it was like a what Les Wexner was the last one, looking all old.
Yeah, that's wild. That's a wild. But yeah, Orange Barrel Media are advertisers.
He said that he has been mistreated and harassed by police, but has used those experiences to work towards change.
Okay.
I don't know. I still don't know.
Yeah, but if it is somebody, I don't know how much you can take somebody at their word about that is like angling for a review board, but like if it is somebody that has had negative times with the police and it's a person of color, I do think that's probably a good ad. But also, it didn't have to be a CEO.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, when it comes to those type of guys, they seem more like the let's shake hands with the police, we're all humans. I think that's where I feel like what rich people get to when they want to solve the problem is like, I don't actually hate the police, so we just have to like cooperate with the police.
Yeah,
then not defund the police, cooperate with the police.
Yeah, and how many people on here is there?
2 more to go.
Okay, I gotta know the median income.
Yeah, there you go. That would be a great question to ask.
Yeah, I would love to know the median income of these people.
These people are all, you're right, these people are all balling.
The only one I can think of is the professor at Franklin University might not have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like that, because, probably an adjunct, probably not like a full-on professor, so. But the other ones, a lot of them are like, have pools, it sounds like. Or pool tables if they live in the city.
Here we go. Here's the shit we were looking for. Charles Tatum, the pastor at Good Shepherd Baptist Church. Okay, once again.
How many church people do we need? We got Rich Nathan already.
He said in his application he hopes to be a part of the solution in bringing the needed change in community relations between citizens and our police department. There you go. That's Handshake the Police.
Why don't they have a satanic guy on there?
They should have at least one Satanist.
One guy that's like super into demons.
Yeah.
Maybe a guy that's really into Typo Negative and Danzig.
That would be good for you.
That woke up this morning and listened to Dark Side of the Moon. Weird thing.
Here we go. God, even more. This is just. I thought this one. I thought we made it out. Mary Younger, 72. So.
I say marry older. You know what I mean? You don't want to marry younger because then you see what happens with, from this show. You know, divorce older.
A retired Franklin County public defender. Okay.
Public defender's good.
Get ready. She is a complaint liaison for Bexley Police.
What is a complaint? So basically, people are like, "Hey, Mary Younger, the police were like fucking really bad to me," and then she goes to the captain and it's like, "Hey, this person is complaining about the police today."
Yeah, and they're like,
you know
what's their address? What's their car?
Yeah.
Like, oh, here it is, Mr. Police.
Yeah,
Chief?
Bexley Police. I mean, that's I don't know. I can't fully say other than all cops are bastards, but I would guess that the Bexley Police are on a high level of evil just because of where they're situated in Columbus.
Yeah.
Because Bexley is like kind of a rich neighborhood, but it's also surrounded by places that are not rich.
Yeah. You ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Kicking the nuts.
It's probably Deadpool.
Her husband is a retired Columbus police officer.
Yeah, of course. Of fucking course, man.
1/3 of this, I think, is actually people that live that are police families. 1/3 of these people are police families.
I know being married to a cop isn't the same thing as being a cop, but I mean, I'm married to my wife who works at a company, and like it makes me look at the other people that work at the company as like more human. And you know, I don't think my wife is doing evil stuff at her job, where she very well could be doing evil stuff.
You have no
if
idea.
She wanted to be. Yeah, I don't know. You know. God damn it. God, this Civilian Review Board doesn't have a single person that works at a gas station or that like but I guess like you had to apply. We should have applied.
Yeah.
They would have picked us though. I wouldn't have been a guy they would pick. And I'm sure a bunch of people that didn't have like ties to the police department or any of that. I'm sure a lot of people. I mean, because it's just seems like an astounding coincidence that like the CEO or whatever of Orange Barrel Media, he did apply and got in. You know what I mean? Because the CEO is somebody we can have on the Civilian Review Board.
Yeah.
And we don't really know what the Civilian Review Board's even going to do.
Yeah.
Or, you know, my understanding for a lot of these Civilian Review Boards is they have like good intentions and they try very hard to make things happen, but that they, you know, mayors and police captains just don't take their input.
It's like, all right, well, Civilian Review Board got to say their thing. All right, well, we're going to do what the police chief says.
Yeah, we're just going to do police chief stuff. Vineyard looks like a diverse church, according to their website.
Okay.
I don't fucking know. But I also feel like just, you know, like I said, 2 pastors, 2 cops. It just is crazy. That is not review, you know? So, hey, Black Lives Matter.
It's true.
Know? And now it's time for us to talk about something we just did that you'll be able to get on the bonus feed this Friday, or if it's already past Friday, you can listen to it now. You know? Mike Rowe.
Yes.
On his worst behavior.
Yes. Really feeling confident.
As bad as it gets. So, Brett, put your headphones in. I want to play a quick piece of his newest TV show, 6 Degrees, on Discovery Plus.
Yeah, it's
This is gonna get you. Here we go.
Why is 6 Degrees sponsored by the energy industry? Well, that's a bit like asking why Chuck drinks coffee all day long.
Chuck's his friend, and this is at the end of the show, after the content of the show, that is when they bring this up, right? That it's sponsored by the energy industry, where he is explaining this. Now, if I were the person putting this together, and look, one of the top 5 evil, it's like an evil thing, the energy industry. I think we can all agree on that, except for maybe the wind people, like, you know, like people that are like super into wind or like making energy out of turds or whatever, you know, people are doing.
Yeah.
Like those people, I'm going to give them a fucking hearty, you know, thumbs up. But AEP, American Electric Power, or Shell Oil, not good. Not good at all, you know? And I would say that this is the type of thing that you maybe play before the show.
Why?
This?
Yeah, why would you play this before the show? That would turn so many people off.
Right. But it seems fair to do it that way. Like, why are you doing it at the end? Like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, so basically we rushed into this. The show that we watched was about how during the Civil War, their food problem through 6 degrees of separation led to random access memory that's inside of computers, and that's the reason that he has a show now, is basically because of hardtack was horrible during the Civil War.
Yes, and it's a 6 degrees of separation. It's got Wilson from the Castaway movie in it. It's got all kinds of shit in it.
Right.
Right, and it's a big, wacky, smug fucking adventure through history.
Yeah.
But at the end of the show, after the content of the show, it plays this, and I'll start it over just so people get what we're pointing out here.
By the energy industry.
Ah, Jesus,
well, that's a bit
Brian
like asking
Flub.
why Chuck.
I think that was right.
And that is how hungry Civil War
Oh, we're gonna
soldiers
get a little bit of the show
helped
here.
produce
Here we go.
This show. Why is 6 Degrees sponsored by the energy industry? Well, that's a bit like asking why Chuck drinks coffee all day long. When you play a dozen different characters in the course of a single show, you need all the energy you can get. Likewise, when you go to your favorite search engine to find whatever it is you're looking for, that takes energy too.
You hear that? You fucking Googling people? You people that are out here Googling who the energy industry is and why and who Mike Rowe is. Oh, you want to Google who I am? I'm Mike fucking Rowe. And you know what? You just used some energy.
You just killed the environment.
Yeah.
Guess this killing the environment isn't so bad when you can use Google.
Oh, you like Netflix? NFTs? Hulu? Discovery Plus? Well, that's killing trees, baby.
Well, that we have to do environmental devastation and have the entire industry popped up by governments and dirty deals and shut out any sort of change.
Yeah, well, you don't want to change too much. This is just coming. I'm thinking from Mike Rowe's perspective.
Yeah,
it's like you don't want to change too much because I'm making a bunch of money off of this.
Right.
You know. So
what would wealthy billionaires that own fossil fuel industry? What are they to do?
Yeah.
Specifically, it takes electricity. Electricity made possible by spinning turbines. Turbines powered by wind and solar, but mostly by oil and natural gas.
Yeah, Texas, you know what we're talking about.
Brett liked that line when we heard it earlier because he says like, yeah, wind and solar, just some bullshit, just the crappiest, dumbest versions of energy.
Actually, I feel like that was a gimme. I feel like he was like, yes, it's powered by wind and solar. And then you're like, oh, he's into green energy. And he's like, but mostly, and that mostly is the signifier of everything.
That is when it was mostly, and then he's like, it's mostly oil and natural gas, that stuff you fucking hate.
Yeah.
So, go pour yourself another cup of joe and raise your glass to the men and women who provide the energy that keeps the servers humming 24/7. And if you really want to show a little appreciation, feel free to bust a move.
What does that mean?
The guy was dancing behind him through this whole thing because he drank a bunch of coffee.
Oh,
it's like the whole thing about it. But
if you're a friend of Cole, pour yourself a coffee and get dancing.
I
love Cole.
Can I say that like something I really liked about it was that he was saying like he was trapping you a little bit by saying like you're watching something on a streaming network, okay? So you know what I'm talking about. I might watch the rest of this show, by the way, just because it was so craven.
It's so boring too.
It is boring, but that's not why I'd watch it. I don't like watching boring stuff, but there was just a lot of titans of industry type shit.
Yeah.
In it, where it was just like these 6 great men led to you being able to watch this on your television, And so he did a show. He did do a show about where he admitted that this was the oil companies this is funded by the oil companies. This is a big oil funded propaganda, which Darna Noor from Gizmodo wrote a piece about it. She's right. Like, it is undeniable that this is big oil funded propaganda. He says it at the end of the fucking show. You know, maybe he thinks it's a big oil funded, maybe he thinks this is bullshit, but maybe he thinks like big oil funded it because there's just huge fans of Micro. You know, like, why does he think that they made this show? And did they have final say on what aired on the show? Like, for example, could Mike Rowe have said something that's evil about the oil and gas companies, the oil and natural gas company? Could he done an episode about how they rip people off and pollute the environment? Could he even include that they pollute? Damn, I just got an ad for the Whoozy What's It bar. Chocolatey. It's new from Whatchamacallit.
Oh no.
Yeah, I love a Whatchamacallit.
I do too. Classic candy bar. One of my faves.
This is a Whoozy What's It. Chocolatey crisps, and motherfucking peanut butter candy bars. That's a Whatchamacallit with a twist.
Yeah.
So put code
protein.
Street Fight in the Whoozy What's It website. Damn it, I'm off candy too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we're podcasting takes a lot of energy, and chocolate provides a good source of natural energy, and peanut butter is just what you need to fill you up. So yes, this podcast is sponsored by Nestle.
Yeah. All right. So Darna's.
I was going to also say that he. I don't know what I was going to say.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't think we're gonna read all of Darna's piece. But let's do a little bit. Reality show Micro. By the way, I didn't mention this. Darna is a fan of Street Fight and is going to be calling in on Sunday night. Let me also say this: a lot of shit has been brought up about Micro because of Street Fight, and it really pissed him off. Actually, that this happened.
Okay.
So we're part of it, you know, a little bit. We have a little piece.
Yeah.
A tiny little piece in exposing that this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Hey, we're part of it.
Yeah. Hey, that's great. Reality show host Mike Rowe's new series 6 Degrees, which is currently streaming on Discovery Plus and will soon air on television, begins how I expected it would, with him on screen in a t-shirt, jeans, and baseball cap, which me and Brett believe to be a fucking $700 outfit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being mean to him, and we did not take the time to Google whether Lee Jeans has a premium brand.
I believe they do.
I'm checking. Now, we can't just say... we can't be wrong about jeans on this show.
Yeah, Lee Premiums. I used to get them, I thought. Oh, no, those are bad. These are the bad ones. Never mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, Lee Selvage would be what I would think.
Do they have that? His shit was whisker wash. He did not earn those creases on his pants at all.
They have them. I think. No, they don't. Lee doesn't make it. Oh, yeah, they do. Here we go. Let's see how much they run. How much your Selvage denim jeans run? $79.99.
That's a great deal.
Oh, they got men's Lee 101s tapered leg jeans for $170.
Okay.
So yeah, they do have premium jeans. So for sure, Mike Rowe. And Mike Rowe's jeans kind of looked like this 170 ones. If you want to, you can see it up on that screen right there. If you want to come around, it's the ones in the middle. Did they kind of look like Mike Rowe's jeans?
Yeah. I mean, that's stuff you never know. I mean, it's easy. I remember what's his name? Glenn Beck sold like a $100 football and like $250 jeans to be for his like all-American line of clothes and products.
I for sure see his jeans.
Okay.
I for sure see him on here. 170. They were on the row under it. For sure. The one all the way over. Those are his fucking jeans, dude. Those were he's wearing.
We can't hold that
jeans.
against him. I think good jeans is the life.
I got a pair of 184s coming in the mail. I'm not trying to make fun of somebody for buying expensive clothes. I'm just saying he's the working man. So are we. But we don't work. We don't pretend.
Yeah, we're not working
class.
Work. Yeah, we're
you know
not
what I
working
mean?
class anymore. We did do a lot of it.
We were that, but we're not now.
We washed out.
Yeah, and we did. We actually failed at it. The conceit of the show is to tie seemingly unrelated events together. In the first episode, Roe traces the history of the dating app Tinder back to the invention of the horseshoe. He explains that in the 1700s, a young blacksmith melted horseshoes to create the first iron plow. And that decades later, Australian outlaw Ned Kelly used an iron plow to create a suit of armor for the first time. Kelly then became the subject of the world's first feature-length film, which contributed to the rise of the movie industry. Hollywood made actress and inventor Hedy Lamarr famous. One of her inventions was a precursor to Wi-Fi, which we used to surf dating apps. Rowe describes this all circuitously, stopping along the way for jokes and whiskey shots. It's dumb but seemingly innocuous until you get to the end. And then
the show is so fucking bad. The show is just like, it's just getting trapped by your dad, like him making you like, hey, whoa, hold up. I want to tell you something. I'm watching this show, right? Yeah. Get this. Your Wi-Fi is related to horseshoes, and they're waiting for everybody to be like, what? And everybody just looks at their phone harder and pretends they're not listening. And then it's being talked to about history that doesn't matter to anybody. And like you said, they talked about hardtack in the one that we watched. And you were like, okay, this was every single elementary school talked about hardtack.
The motherfuckers made you eat hardtack.
Yeah, they made you try it. Yeah.
History teachers love to make you eat hardtack. That's just part of being a history teacher in first grade.
Yeah. It's in their budget because it only costs $1 to make.
Listen to this, Brett. 6 degrees. This is from this episode that she's describing.
Okay.
6 Degrees is sponsored by the oil and gas industry. Why? Because oil and natural gas connects everything. Rowe says at the episode's conclusion. He goes on to explain that Lamar's inventing process was funded by the fortune her boyfriend made in the oil fields.
Who?
Hedy Lamarr, who was a Hollywood actress who led to the invention of Wi-Fi or something. I know you blank out when that stuff happened because we blanked out during the show. It's impossible. It's such boring information.
Yeah,
you couldn't have more elementary school boring information.
It is.
In this world.
That's what it is. It's like when they made you get the trifold board and made you go out there and say like, this is the life of Harry Houdini. Harry Houdini, and then they just rattle off facts and unimportant things.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking, we were talking about whether he can make something against the oil industry. They hired a guy. They hired the shill, man. They hired a guy that doesn't care. And I think the attitude is like, don't fucking worry about it. I mean, you like oil and gas. I think that's why this is a good message to end it with. Instead of saying like, we're spending money on rebuilding the glaciers in the Arctic. Instead of doing stuff like that, it's just, hey, baby, Wi-Fi, horseshoes, footballs, it's all because of oil and gas, and you love it, and we need it, and we're not going to ask if we can change it. We just got to keep running with it.
Yeah. And that comes up in this article. It's a really great article, and you should definitely read it. In 2008, this is a little bit that Street Fight listeners will know. Rowe launched MicroWorks, a nonprofit promoting vocational training for blue-collar jobs. The organization provides scholarships for job training programs in the fields including automotive technology, HVAC manufacturing, and diesel technology, which in itself isn't a bad thing, but the foundation is premised on the idea that the reason people are struggling to find good-paying work in these sectors is because of a skills gap. We were talking about Tinder earlier, now. It's just because of a skills gap for those in blue-collar fields. A thoroughly debunked myth pushed by industry leaders to make workers feel underqualified for positions, which research suggests help companies to put more conditions on their job listings and offer lower rates of pay. MicroWorks also fails to grapple with the reality that amid the worsening climate crisis, many of these fields will have to undergo major changes, and in the case of diesel, at least have to be fully phased out. That is true. They are, at some point, we do have to, I mean, he's saying we're never going to phase it out. Hey, we can never run out of oil before I die.
Right. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have oil. The people after us, who knows?
Yeah.
The world dies with me. I'm Micro.
Yeah. In the years since starting his nonprofit, Rose started a parallel media career as a pundit, frequently appearing on Fox News to openly speak out against regulating oil and gas extraction.
People need dirty jobs.
Yeah. I mean, this guy fucking loves the oil and gas industry so much. Yeah, we didn't mention also, this show looks like it was filmed in his backyard.
It was.
Yeah, you can see a house in the background. And it's on his son's basketball court. Or I don't think he has kids. It's on a basketball court. You know, he's sitting on probably. You know?
Yeah, it's very janky. The football part had like a pop-up table, like for like a catering table, basically. And he went and talked to a guy in like director's chair in front of just a fucking trailer. And you could see background people. They tried to make it like, I don't know, instead of trying to make it good, they just showed off how shitty their circumstances were, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Identification of excess contributions included in part 2. MicroWorks Foundation, who does contributions to people. The Pennsylvania Chambers Education Foundation, Scholarship America, Koch Foundation, Universal Technical Institute, Koch Companies Public Sector LLC, Wolverine Worldwide, Kraft Heinz, and Charities Aid Foundation of America. So that's a little bit there. So, yeah, he is a nasty guy, man. So anyway, Mike caught wind of this article. It's pretty obvious that he has it's pretty obvious that he probably has his name. He's named, sir. What do they call it? The Google alerts.
Yeah. Or I'm sure people send it to him if they saw it. Gizmodo's a big enough publication.
That's true. People would. Could you imagine if somebody wrote something like this about us, and then somebody that's friends with us sent it to us? I'd be like, I don't need to see that. I don't want to know about that. But I guess once Gizmodo's so big that it would be a big fucking deal. So if Gizmodo does a hatchet piece on us,
yep,
don't send it to me. I just don't even want to see it. You know,
we could ask them to do that.
You think they would do it?
Yeah, we could ask her. If she'll do a takedown of us to get people to check us out.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, you can look into who are making our contributions. That's for goddamn sure. Oh, God. I got rid of my Facebook. Now this is all becoming a whole hassle.
Oh, no.
I got it. Oh, not now. I don't want to create an account. Okay. I'm trying to get his Facebook post up. Needless to say, he was hot under the collar about this. So he decided to go to his Facebook and do a post about this specific article. So let's just go through it. It's everything you hate about Micro in a little
delivers, piece. Yeah.
It does deliver.
Hokey jokes, winking at the camera.
It starts with basically
good old-fashioned values. Asking questions to no one. Sorry.
It starts with the show business equivalent of Webster's dictionary defines by saying P.T. Barnum once said,
"Oh no,
there's no such thing as bad publicity." Yeah, no shit, he said that. 7 million things have been written about that one fucking line. I hope he never said it too. I hope that's like a Luke, I am your father thing. Where, like, Darth Vader doesn't really say that.
Uh-huh.
He says something else.
Sure.
He says something like, I love you or I know or something like that.
Luke, I know.
Luke, I know. Yeah, it's something like that. I've seen Star Wars. I've seen them all, which is almost as good as Oscar Wilde's version, who put it like this: "There's only one thing in the world worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about."
Jesus,
Now,
hitting us with 2 quotes up front.
Yeah, of course.
Just getting the mental juices flowing. Like, I never thought of that.
Okay, now think about this though. What do 65-year-olds love to do on Facebook? What do they love to fucking share?
Quotes.
They love them.
Something that fits on a beach, background of a beach or something.
Yeah. Or like it looks like a picture you would have in your house, like kind of a frame with cross stitch in it. That's like you know, damn it feels good.
That's the liberals.
Both men could turn a phrase, and both men had a point. With Discovery premiering 6 Degrees this Sunday at 10 p.m., you'd think that any surrounding press would be a good thing. But neither Barnum or Wilde lived in these extraordinary times where anyone can post anything from anywhere. Mike this is the first time I've seen him crack.
Baby, he's a little baby. It'd be easy for P.T. Barnum to say. He didn't have people tweeting about him. He didn't have podcasts that have done 6 or 7 episodes about my antics.
It is. I mean, this is a crack in the micro armor. I have never seen him mad. We have said that on this show, that we have never seen him mad.
Yeah.
Tried to catch him. He doesn't get mad.
No, he tries to pretend like he's just some jolly old soul walking down a gravel driveway in bare feet without flinching, like carving an apple and talking to kids and saying, you know, hardtack was all they used to be able to eat during the Civil War.
That bugs in it.
That bugs in it. They had to put in coffee. And yeah, just to say, someone's Grandpa Rowe, my TikTok is blowing up and everybody hates me. Well, P.T. Barnum always said, any publicity is good publicity.
He's so mad that people can post. Because that is the worst part about being a famous guy, I think. It's like when you're a famous person, you're just like, oh man, if I was famous fucking 20 years ago, everybody couldn't post.
Yeah, and people are completely unfair to you, for sure. I mean, there's relevant critiques, but then there's people that are just obnoxious and angry, and the bigger you get, the more you get of those.
Yeah, and I don't think us or like Adam Johnson and Nima Shiraz from Citations Needed, I don't think me and you have been kind of unfair to him. But I also think that like we've always used his words.
Yeah.
We make fun of him, but we read his fucking words. He's explaining himself to us.
Yeah.
You know, to the best as he possibly can.
He does try to act like he's above it all. He
does. He's never been mad. He never has come off as like an angry guy that like gets pissed. I never thought he would bring up the trolls.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
He's getting there. He's like,
he's close.
My good friends of mine, Dennis Prager and Adam Carolla, have done a lot of interesting investigations in what's going on in these crazy times. People can't work for the oil and gas industry? Excuse me? I thought this was America.
They're definitely friends.
Oh, yeah. He definitely smokes some cigars with them.
Yeah. He's buddies with those two, for sure. Many of you have called the attached article to my attention, along with a very misleading headline I would have ignored once upon a time, but cannot in this day and age.
I hope he gets Petersoned. I hope he gets Petersoned from this.
Like, just people's... He gets mad?
Relentless snowball of people going after him, and he's just like... stops doing laundry, just is miserable. Stops eating.
He might be falling apart, dude.
Yeah, I don't...
Because I think he might have ignored this article in the past.
I do agree. I don't know. I think that they know that their audience wants to hear about cancel culture.
Yeah.
You don't want to say it. You don't want to go out there and do it. And maybe he's trying to stay out of it. He wants to be less dramatic. But
he has talked about it.
Yeah.
Not cancel culture necessarily, but he's done the millennials and coffee and you can't goddamn say anything anymore. Here's a link to the original article if you're interested. Or if you prefer, you can scroll down and enjoy the same copy along with my gentle attempts to set the record straight. Either way, better strap in. This one's a doozy. Darna Noor writes, Mike Rowe's new Discovery show is big oil-funded propaganda. And then it goes into its classic Rowe and posturing as an avatar for the average American. Actually, let's read that paragraph again because it's really fucking good. Reality show host Mike Rowe's new series, 6 Degrees, which is currently streaming on Discovery Plus and will soon air on television, begins how I expected it would, with him on screen in a t-shirt, jeans, and a baseball cap and smiling Riley. It's classic Rowe, posturing as an avatar for the average American. He's gonna respond to that.
Seething.
Yo, mad as ever.
Stomped the hat. He stomped the stupid hat. Like, he's the stupid fucking hat.
Stupid fucking blue jeans. Oh, what, you want me to wear a fucking tuxedo? You want me to wear a fucking tuxedo on TV? Is that what you want me to do? I am an average American. An average show business American. Okay? Fucking pacing around his house. Called his mom on the phone that he's always talking to.
Yeah.
It just fucking was like, can you fucking believe this shit?
Oh, Mikey, they hate you because they ain't you. That was a weird part of the show too. Is he put some like really outdated millennial type slang in there?
It's lit.
He was he said it's lit, and then he said it was like something was hot garbage or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, most he was talking. He was doing like fake letters from Civil War people, and he said food.
Yeah.
Mike Rowe. Hi there, Darna. First of all, thanks for the shout out. TV audiences are hard to find these days, so I appreciate the mention. Secondly, I don't posture for anyone. For better or worse, the guy you see on TV is me, and my opinions are my own. Thirdly, 6 Degrees is not propaganda funded by big oil. Your headline is demonstrably false, and since Discovery informed you in writing that the sponsors had no creative or editorial control over the show, I'm curious to see how you will justify such an inflammatory claim.
Okay.
And then he goes to the next paragraph. Here we go. Mike Rowe, I hate to nitpick, Darna, but Ned Kelly was not the first guy to make a suit of armor. He was just the first guy to make one from an iron plow in order to survive a shootout. Beyond that, you've done a fair job describing what 6 Degrees is, a history show for people who don't watch history shows. I'm flattered to learn that you were engaged enough in the premise to watch the whole thing. Thanks.
It got her. So you actually liked it. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but then the next line is from Darna. It's dumb but seemingly innocuous until you get to the end. Alrighty then, I retract the flattered part.
Oh, here we go. Okay. He's a cut up. What a card.
Here is where they say caught wind, where they talk about it being funded by oil and gas. Mike Rowe, caught wind? To your point, Darna, I'm literally on camera thanking the sponsors in the most transparent way possible. How much digging do you suppose the journalists at Reality Blurred had to do in order to catch wind of this bombshell? Like you, all they had to do was watch the show, which you can do again this Sunday on Discovery at 10 p.m. Eastern. In fact, so this is Darna again. In fact, I started watching 6 Degrees because I'd read it. It was funded by the American Petroleum Institute and Distribution Contractors Association. Still watching this unfold on screen, I nearly fell out of my chair. It turns out Rowe shouts out the oil and gas industry in some capacity in every episode. I couldn't believe he was so upfront about it. So here's Mike. It's easy to be upfront about relationships when you're not ashamed of them. It's also polite to thank your sponsors, especially in cases like this. Yeah, where they're fucking just shelling out that fucking cash. You know?
Is he just like a Labrador? Is he just really? Maybe he is that simple.
Nope.
You think he's conniver?
I do.
He seems like. Well, golly gee, I sure love my gasoline. I don't need to investigate what the industry is like at all. I'm happy to thank you.
No, I think he is George W. Bush.
Okay.
I think he's like he puts on a show of acting kind of like simple
Folksy,
and folksy. But he's a smart guy. I mean, if you sat down and talked to Mike Rowe about maybe what he thinks about Joe Biden's the lobbyist that donated the most money to Joe Biden or Donald Trump's campaign and what they might expect in return, he would acknowledge that that is an actual thing that happens. I can almost guarantee that. But he doesn't see that his TV show is the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's
he thinks he's a NASCAR guy and that like they're just paying to get stickers on the car. We built the car.
Yeah. Well, if the NASCAR guy went out and got canceled, they'd take the stickers off the car.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's easy to be upfront about when you're not ashamed. I like that he's saying I'm not ashamed of my relationship with the oil and I am not ashamed to be in a relationship with these people, okay? I love them with all of my heart and soul, like I would my children and my wife and my dear old mother. Okay?
Yeah.
You're allowed to love industries. It's not, hey, I'll bet you love the journalism industry, don't you? Well, that's because you work in it. Okay? You fucking love it. Especially 6 Degrees wasn't produced by Discovery, it was produced by me. Oh, wow. I needed help to kickstart production and started looking for companies that wanted to support a history show about the surprising ways we're all connected. This is his show. He produced this show. And the money that went to making the show to kickstart production came from the oil and gas companies.
Yeah, and this is like exactly what we always talk about there's no extra money to give to our show, you know?
No.
There's no industry that would be able to throw $1 million at us to make sure our show got done.
Yeah. I found several interested parties, including API and DCA. Obviously, one of the things that connects us all in our shared reliance on affordable energy so they were an easy fit. But again, neither API or DCA had any creative or editorial control over the show. All they got was a mention from me and some prime space in the show to run ads and in the body of the show too. And some prime space too. But as jarring as it was to hear him praise the industry that is largely responsible for frying the planet, the sponsorship makes sense. It fits right in with the industry's current favorite media strategy, reminding us that their products are used in everything. That was Darna.
Yeah.
This is Mike. With respect, Darna, your view of the energy industry seems awfully one-sided. Obviously, no one who lives on this planet wants to see it fried, including me. Well, but you're working with the people that are doing it.
Yeah, you're helping with the frying.
I love this fucking... This is the best!
You brought oil to the fry party.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Darna, thank you for writing this. You have pissed this man off.
Pierce the armor.
Yeah, you were the first to pierce the armor. We've all tried. But you got him. You fucking... I cannot wait to I just can't wait to talk to her now.
Yeah.
On Sunday. It's the most beautiful thing in the world that this guy's mad. But no objective person can look at the history of fossil fuels and not conclude that the petroleum-based products and natural gas have lifted more people out of poverty than any other product in the history of the world.
Sure.
I mean, I would also argue, though, that they have put a lot of people into poverty, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, does that mean we have to use it forever now? Does that mean if the science suggests that it's frying the fucking planet, it's just like, well, it did. And if you watch 6 Degrees of Separation, you'll see in 1910, a whole city in Chicago was lifted out of poverty by the oil and gas industry. So now we have to use it in 2021 for everything and shut down any attempt to make a switch.
It's real like butt rock reasoning, you know?
Yeah.
As you can see, back in 2000, I married my high school sweetheart, and now I'm, you know what I mean? Like, and now I'm stuck here, and I hate it, and I don't want to do it, but you have to live with her until you die.
Darna, let me tell you this. We decided what our cheap and efficient energy was going to be back in the 1800s, and that's what it's always going to be.
Lifted more people out of poverty. I hate that. Because people are living in like disaster because of the oil and gas industry. You know, not people in America. Although, you know, Louisiana got pretty fucked up by the New Orleans got pretty fucked up by the Deepwater Horizon explosion. And
Kentucky got pretty fucked up.
Kentucky got fucked up. But there are places all over the world that are just complete fucking messes because of the oil and gas, because of them. Because you can blame me for buying stuff that is made with petroleum. Sure, go ahead and blame me. But I'm not the one that makes everything out of petroleum.
Right. It wasn't my decision.
Yeah. God, I would love to not have to buy stuff made out of this stuff that's frying the planet. But everything's made with it and everything runs on it. You know, I can't afford a fucking Tesla that probably also has some bad shit in it.
Yeah, he also insists, like, I mean, what are these dirty jobs people? I don't know what I was going to say, but like driving to work, everybody driving to work constantly. There's a lot of changes that need to be made to our economy that don't fit with the micro worldview, you know? He wants everybody working 70 hours a week. We need to roll it down to everybody working 25 hours a week, you know?
Yeah, and then that slows down
the consumption.
Yeah. I'm going to move to this article where it summed it up by Emily Atkin. It's a very long post.
Red Wizard said there's a neighborhood called Cancer Alley near the oil refineries in Texas.
Yeah, I believe it, dude. They are simply disastrous for this planet. There's not a lot good about them. I guess you could say that they have, I guess, lifted people out of property. But they've probably also lifted people out of property. People have probably had to move from places they grew up in their whole life because of the oil and gas industry. I realize that, I realize it's a hard thing to admit, but the fundamental challenge of feeding a hungry planet could not be met without fossil fuels. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be moving toward cleaner alternatives with all due speed.
Okay.
We absolutely should. And from what I've seen, we absolutely are. Not with all due speed. I don't feel like we're doing it with any speed at all.
They're still doing that shit where they're like, we're going to require cars have a mile per gallon of at minimum 25 by 2030.
Yeah,
they're going to require all passenger vehicles to have a smaller tank by 2040.
But we shouldn't deny the role that fossil fuels play in our daily life or try to divorce ourselves from oil and gas today. Doing so would destroy life as we know it. Agriculture, transportation, healthcare, clothing, textiles, space exploration. One of those is unnecessary, in my opinion. I've said this before, and I know there's probably a lot of people who love science and shit, but we don't need to be going to space. What is there? You know?
A lot of stuff. It's like the Wild West.
Okay. But too much stuff, I think, is
too much to get into?
Yeah, I just think it's like there's so much space that it's like, I mean, you're never going to get to the other side of it. You're never going to get to like the California of space, the West Coast of space. You know, we did do the westward and went all the way across till we found water. I just don't really fucking know what you're going to get out of space. Like, what are you going to do?
Manufacturing. You can
manufacture space
in space. Yeah, like a zero gravity environment and stuff. You can learn all kinds of mathematical tests.
If we took all of the factories in the oil and gas industry and put them on Mars, and then we just went there and got it instead of using it here, I'd be pro that. I know that's rude though, because Mars is a place, you know, with Martians. There's Martians there. Even the millions of people currently reading this exchange could not do so without the screens and keypads made possible with petroleum-based products, not to mention an electrical grid powered in most cases by natural gas. Pointing that out is not propaganda, it's just the truth. An inconvenient one, perhaps, but the truth nonetheless. That's
jab.
That was a good jab at both Al Gore and Darna.
Yep. Got them all. And also unwilling to spend any time in that sector.
Yeah.
Unwilling to even investigate or spend any energy going in that direction or suggesting people change things. Just completely head in the sand.
This is Darna here. Despite his posturing as a friend of the working class, Rowe doesn't have much to say about how the industry mercilessly lays off employees while paying shareholders, or that working in the fossil fuel industry comes with notoriously dangerous conditions for workers and long-term health risks instead. He suggests safety concerns are overblown. Now you're concerned with jobs? You mean like the thousands of jobs that evaporated when Keystone was canceled? This is Mike. He's pissed about Keystone Pipeline being canceled.
Yeah, and those fracking jobs kill those guys. I mean, they inhale that sand shit, and it fucking dries their lungs out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a job that kills people.
Right.
That, again, if we were working very hard to get to the other side of this, if we worked as hard to get on the other side of this as we do to make fighter jets, we would fucking get there eventually. Yeah. You know? If you really wanted to shut down all fossil fuel production, you'd be more supportive of my attempts to help those workers get trained in other areas. At Micro Works, that's exactly what we do. We assist people who wish to learn a skill that's in demand. We do not hold their hands for the rest of their lives or insert ourselves into disputes between labor and management, like, you know, union stuff. Yeah. Regarding safety concerns, I've never said they were overblown. You have said they were overblown. Safety third suggests that they are overblown. Safety being the third thing in the list when it's supposed to... We usually would say safety first back in the day. For you people that have never heard this idiom, it was safety first. And then Micro said safety third, which... If you know how numbers work, like how they go in a certain order up, then that would make it less important.
It's not a priority.
Than whatever number one is. Yeah, it's the third priority. When I make something third, it's less of a priority than one. That's just me.
That's simple math.
I'm fucking crazy. Yeah, I am Micro. I could be Micro.
Think so?
You know, yeah. I've only suggested that companies who boast that safety is first put themselves in an awkward rhetorical position with respect to common sense. If safety is truly first, then why ask your people to assume any risk at all? I believe that any effective occupational safety program must emphasize the role of personal responsibility.
Oh, God.
It's those two words, baby. Those are the words. Those are the words they love. America loves those two words. But I think we're starting to turn the tide into personal responsibility war, you know? I hope.
Yeah, I mean, this is the entire conservative foundation. This is what they always preach about. Everybody doesn't want to take responsibility when their job asks them to work super hard in an environment with slippery floors, and then they injure their back forever.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
My dad injured his back for his whole life when he was 19 years old. He had a horrible back his whole fucking life because of safety going to the wayside.
Yeah. Yeah. So
they don't want you to be safe at work, and they don't care. Ugh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry. I got nothing to say.
So here's what we're gonna do. Before we go, there was another Micro thing, and we're gonna talk to Darna on Sunday. So that'll be cool. And again, on the bonus feed on the Street Fight Patreon, you can hear this whole show. You can hear a commentary, and maybe even watch it. We don't know yet, but you'll be able to hear a commentary on Micro's show, and you know, it was pretty funny. I thought it was fun. We did a good time. But Micro had another appearance in the press.
Jesus.
Promoting the show, I guess.
Okay.
I guess he was on Fox. I got to stop this video before it plays. Oh, I guess it's not going to play. I hope. Please don't. Wait. Is there a mute? Yeah. All right. As soon as I muted it, it immediately went off mute. Here we go. Micro's new show 6 Degrees with Micro is premiering on Discovery Channel after debuting on Discovery Plus in January. The Emmy-winning TV show hosts series aims to prove how the world is more connected than we think. I like that it's how the world's more connected than we think, where it's just like, it's very connected by fossil fuels. This world is crazy connected by a few industries that I think you'll love. Meat, fossil, because the episode we had had basically factory farming, the history of factory farming.
And he called Upton Sinclair hysterical.
He did call the book The Jungle funny as a joke to make it, because it's like basically he was saying that Upton Sinclair book's a real bummer. You know,
yeah, he said the hysterical.
Yeah,
but a hysteria is usually not.
I think he was trying to.
I think he was saying it was overblown.
Yeah, I guess you could be right. You know, which that book is
gross.
Wild.
Yeah,
it's very gross. The former Dirty Jobs star explores major moments in American history and connects the dots with surprising tales and humor. The humor's terrible, by the way. I'm going to tell you, you'll hear it if you listen to the bonus feed, but if you don't listen to the bonus feed, not good humor.
Yeah, I mean that's I don't think I said it on the show, but before we started, his idea of a joke is just saying, "This is Chuck. Chuck likes coffee," and then he just sits there and everybody's like, Chuck. It's just like, it's an inside joke for him that it's like, it's not funny, dude. It's like, I know a guy named Chuck. He's a real scallywag, and then everybody else is, Chuck is actually secretly a nice guy, I guess, and he's my friend, and I just said something, and he has the worst, just the oldest sense of humor I've ever seen.
You did tell a story before we recorded about Metallica. That's kind of in that vein that you should tell people.
Yeah, I can't explain it. I don't know, but a lot of older people do this. And James Hetfield does it on the live album they did, the acoustic album, like 2 years ago. I can't remember the name
Brett's
of it.
favorite fucking album.
My favorite one.
Goddamn acoustic album with Bleeding Me on it.
Yes. Yep.
I'm digging my way. God,
Yep.
we should have saw the divorce coming when you got really into Bleeding Me.
Yep. Trust me, I knew it was coming.
Yeah. We got way into Metallica and Megadeth. It's like,
Still love them.
Yeah.
So on there, he does a little bit of banter between the songs, and he says something about somebody and said, "Well, as my mom would say, they're a little bit different," and and then he laughs.
And the whole audience fucking loses it like it's Sinbad in 1989.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, me coming downstairs with like a guy liner on or something as a kid, and then my parents being like, "Oh, he's a little different."
When I would wear my baggy pants to school, my Jinkos. Oh, those pants. Oh, those are huge. That's a little different.
That's a little different.
And then fucking to that, they fucking just killed.
You roasted his fucking ass. He didn't even know.
It's Chris Rock, Bring the Pain. When you say that's different. In the same way Dirty Jobs reached a lot of people because it dealt with something as universal as work, 6 Degrees has the same potential because it deals with our shared history. I want to rephrase that though. In the same way Dirty Jobs reached a lot of people because it dealt with something as universal as work, 6 Degrees I think has the same potential because it's funded by the oil and gas industry.
What?
No, I'm making that up.
Okay.
I was just being goofy.
Yeah.
I was being a silly goof.
I do think it's all... I mean, it just... the most of the show just reminded me of, like, talking to a 10-year-old.
A boring person.
A 10-year-old, yeah. It's just like, in 1896, there was a hardtack, and then they had a cook that came in and changed everything, and then that cook, he changed the way that meat was delivered, and then the meat industry, there was football became different because the meat industry. It's just that's what he's doing, and you're just like, are these connected? Are these? I don't see it really.
Football became different because the meat industry.
Yeah, that's what he says.
It's basically it. Yeah, the meat industry, and then it's like Wilson from the Castaway movie made footballs, and then fuck, what was it?
He also tells stories that you've already heard if you hang around a conservative guy over 50. He talks about Newt Rockney with the forward pass.
Yeah, the Newt Rockney forward pass story does not need to be told again. It just okay. The Newt Rockney forward pass story is going to be told to people forever, for the rest of time, right? It does not have to be on a TV show.
No.
Like, that's where it doesn't have to be. It's like, I can see, you're watching football with your kid and you look over at them and you're like, they used to not throw the football like that. They would stop, and it was crazy. They were very stupid people back then.
Yeah.
They did not know anything. They were banging each other's heads with these leather helmets. It was something. But I've heard Hardtack and Newt Rockney are fucking stories I've been hearing since I was 8.
Right.
And they're just
worthless.
They don't have to be on a TV
It's not helpful
show.
information at all.
It's like public domain music, basically. It's really all it is.
Yeah, he's definitely going to do one where he's going to talk about the guy that jumped backwards over the high jump or whatever.
Yeah,
that one where they're like, this crazy guy, he leaped over backwards.
Yes. Oh, before I googled pole vault.
Okay.
I googled the actual thing to see how much they run.
For what? Getting over fences?
No, for pole vaulting.
No. Hell no. Hell no.
I was interested.
You dream too high. You gotta start. You gotta try to run first before you do that.
I know, but I got interested in it, and I was like, well, what's a pole vault run?
Is there amateur pole vaulting? Everybody's wanted to do it. You're not afraid of coming down on the stick and impaling yourself?
Yeah, I am. But I mean, if you're a person in this audience that never wanted to pole vault, I just don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's another person in this world that didn't want to try to pole vault. I don't think it's weird that I Googled how much is a pole vault.
I don't think it's it's something I cross off my list. I think as soon as I went to high school, I was like, well, I don't do track and field. Guess I'll never pole vault.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to try it though? If I was
I'd rather jump out of an airplane.
Well, yeah, I'd like to do that too, dude. That's not.
Have you seen like pole vault?
Actually, I wouldn't like to do that. I'm lying about that. That is a fucking lie. I would never want to jump out of a plane. I'm scared enough when I'm just flying on them through the sky. But yeah,
it takes an incredible amount of skill. You're going to fall on your fucking head a few times. That pole is going to bend in half and whip you in the fucking back.
That's not. I mean,
you gotta watch pole vault fail videos too.
Oh, there's fail videos?
Yeah, then when they get stuck up there or like they don't get the right angle and they fall backwards.
I think I just assumed that nobody ever failed it. Like, oh, there's fails? Actually, I thought everybody got over it. Those poles are expensive though, dude. I saw $1,000 one.
Where are you going to practice at? Are we like rent time at a high school?
I mean,
and set up you have to buy the air mattress too to land on.
That's a good point that you made there. I'm sure there's like a pole vaulting gym.
No,
if you really want,
it's a completely useless skill unless you're in high school. I don't think that anybody does it for fun.
You can get a fucking pole vault for $343.29. That's or $284.99, and you can get the Gill Essentials pole vault package, which is the Scholastic pole vault standards, which is all the stuff to do it, and that's $1,700 for the whole thing.
It's cheaper than a gym membership if you count 34 months of gym memberships.
Well, I was saying though that there's probably, you go to a gym where people climb walls, climbing gym.
Yeah.
Is what they call it. It's for climbing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's gotta be a pole vault gym. Like, why wouldn't there be a track and field gym? You could just go there and fuck. Because I'd like to throw the discus too, dude, and that heavy thing. I'd like to throw any of those.
Shot put.
Yeah, I'd love to throw the heavy thing, or the discus, or I would love to do any of those things that aren't running.
There would be an ambulance parked out all day for anybody over 30 that tried to throw one of those things or pole vault, and they would pull their back immediately.
And you could rent
or
a pole
slip a
vault
disc
there for cheaper. Then I just don't understand why pole vaulting isn't like bowling or curling or something like to that effect.
It takes an incredible amount of skill that nobody can practice. You can't just. It's not like soccer where you can't just buy a pole vault and practice.
People do it. You know,
people in college and people in high school do it. People in the Olympics?
Yeah.
This is absurd. I don't know. This bothers me for some reason.
I know it seems to, but I think it sounds the reason it just sounded interesting, and it was kind of like I started trying to put the whole thing together.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually planning on buying one, but I did. I'm just saying I searched it to find out how much they cost, which is usually the beginning of me buying something that I don't need or shouldn't have. But I also, I mean, you bring up a lot of good points about like I'm gonna get hurt doing it, probably.
Yeah.
Where I'm just kind of like, oh, maybe I'll just do discus or shot put then. Like that seems doable for me.
Okay.
That seems very doable for me as a person.
I'm typing elderly track and field team.
There's no elderly track and field. I'm Googling it.
Yeah, the National Senior Games.
How old do you got to be? How old's elderly?
I think in track and field, over 30 got to be elderly, in my opinion.
That's
like, you're
true.
not going to be doing that shit. Can't find the numbers here.
I looked up discus. You can get a discus for $60.
Yeah, I guess that's a fun exercise.
Or $45. Yeah, maybe I'll get a discus, you know? But anyway.
There's a Groupon for pole vaulting.
Is there?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, let's fucking do it, dude. Let's just fucking do it. It's probably outdoors. That's something.
You choose. I mean, you just choose impossible dreams. Like, you choose things that aren't practical or that you can't actually do.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what this person opens up with. A combination of gymnastics, weightlifting, sprinting, and jumping. Pole vaulting is one of the most technically demanding events in athletics.
Okay. That's true. There's actually, when you sit and really start to think about it, it's like you got this long stick, you got to run and stick it in this little hole.
Yep.
And then fly over this thing. So you're right. It is hard. But I just wanted to see what it runs to get involved with pole vaulting. Like what kind of money it would cost to get involved with pole vaulting. And I kind of thought like...
I'm going to tell you, get on YouTube, just type in trying pole vault for the first time. There's a bunch of shit in there.
Okay, I will.
Save it for another day.
Rose Show incorporates animation and puppets and weird green screen reenactments with actors and costumes in the hopes of making history more interesting and digestible for viewers. Boy, it'd be really nice if he put some history in it, like something that was worth knowing. The producer has been traveling around the country throughout the pandemic, filming and meeting people from different walks of life. He offered his opinion on the minimum wage debate that has Congress deadlocked.
Here we go.
Yeah. Listen. Maybe he has a great opinion on minimum wage.
Oh, really?
You know, maybe Mike, this is the one place where we agree with. Actually, we agree with him that like plumbing is a good job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There is a skills gap. There is for some industries. And some things they require too much, and it isn't easy. I don't think it's easy to just get into that stuff.
Yeah, they make it very hard but they make it super hard to get like apprenticeships too.
Right.
Because fuck, dude, would I be doing Street Fight if I had been able to get on as like a fucking tradesperson? You know what I mean? And you know, got the apprenticeship and learned how to do it. And then I mean, those jobs pay good fucking money.
Yeah, that one lineman that from like North Dakota that I used to email with, he was getting paid like $40 an hour and said they were constantly trying to get people to sign up.
Yeah, or like pipe fitters.
Yeah.
But like I remember, maybe it's easier now in that like you can search it on the internet, but back when we were younger, dude, that just seemed, I mean, it seemed like doing something like that to me, and maybe that's stupid, seemed exactly the same as like trying to be a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
For a living.
When no one would let you too. Like they were like, no, you don't want to do that. You want to go to college. It's like, no, I don't think college is going to work. I fucking hate school.
And I'm very not into paying attention to anything. Ever.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
I'm not going to sit down and for 8 hours and then go home and write a report.
What if I go to college to be a pipe fitter?
Yeah. How about electrician college?
Yeah, can we do that? You know, I've told you, I've probably said on the show a million fucking times, my dad wouldn't let me go to vocational school, which would have been, that's the road to getting into something like that.
Yeah.
Especially for bad kids. Like, that was like totally like, that was a place that the bad kids would go to, and they would actually like not really get in trouble because they were learning how to work on cars or something that they were interested in.
Right.
You know, but you know, my dad thought it was a loser place, so I didn't get to go.
Yeah, he thought his son was a real winner.
Yeah, that fucking sucks, man. I could have been a car mechanic, dude. That's not out of the realm. That's not out of my skill set. I'm a fucking smart guy. You know, I want everyone who works hard and plays fair to prosper, Rose said. Hey, you know, I would actually want everybody to prosper. Like, that's what I want. Because I do feel like the alternative to prosper is misery. And I don't want anybody to have to go through that.
Sure.
I don't fucking care what scuzzy shit they do.
Their personal responsibility.
Yeah. I don't care if they sit around their house and smoke cigarettes and pick their ass all day. I still think they should get to like eat food and live inside, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want everybody to be able to support themselves. But if you just pull the money out of midair, you're going to create other problems. Which, let me just say this. You wouldn't be pulling the money out of midair. You would be paying people for the work that they're doing. That money isn't coming from like that nowhere.
Right.
It's money in a lot of industries that are raking in fucking money, you know? Like McDonald's is like a really great example. Like, you can look at their profit sheets and shit, and then you're like, well, you could actually afford to pay people more.
Yeah.
And then also profit. Like, they could afford that.
If the person that running McDonald's was okay with just making $1 million a year, you know, so, like, you know, here's me, my angry commie rant. They only get $1 million. Then everybody else could also have a fucking $20 an hour job.
Yeah.
The money is there.
Yeah, the money is there and is deserved.
And they're making it too. They are generating the money.
Yeah, profit is just profit. It's like that isn't even the CEO compensation and shit is paid out of that.
Yeah.
You know, profit is just surplus labor. It's off the backs of what the people are doing. That's just a big pile of fucking money that you can't have, even though you were the one making the hamburgers and filling up the cherry cokes.
Yeah, and the prices of everything has gone fucking up. Like, McDonald's is charging more for their food now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've been like stopping to get fast food, and it's like, this is $9 every time.
I know.
I came here because I thought I was going to spend $5.
Yeah, but that is also like back when I was a kid, you used to be able to get shit for a nickel, because I remember
it is.
I fucking was able to get value meals for $2.99. Maybe even less than that. But I remember you were able to get like the regular size, like Big Mac combo meal for like $2.99, and it would just, or they would do like 99-cent Big Macs. It's like, what do they do now? Like $2-3? They probably don't do 99-cent ones anymore.
Hell no.
Yeah,
Hell no.
yeah. I mean, 99-cent Whoppers they would do, and we would eat Whoppers all the time. You know.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I just think it's what a disgusting piece of shit that looks at the minimum wage debate and sees that people are still making the same amount of, like, still getting paid the same amount as, like, fucking 2005 or whatever. It hasn't moved at all.
Yeah. But if you just pull the money out of midair, you're going to create other problems. Like, there is a ladder of success that people climb, and some of those jobs that are out there for $7, $8, $9 an hour, in my view, they're simply not intended to be careers. They're not intended to be full-time jobs. They're rungs on a ladder.
Somebody has to do them, and you want anybody that has to do that job to struggle? Is that to put a fire under their ass? Is that supposed to make them be personally responsible and be like, oh no, only bottom feeders do this job. I'll simply move up. I'll simply move up the ladder, and everybody gets to move up the ladder because there's a lot of room at the top for all of us.
What's the next job up? What is this other job you're supposed to be getting?
Spreadsheet job.
Yeah. Oh, but he isn't.
You're right. He's not into
those jobs too.
You're right.
You know?
Yeah, he's really just painted you into a corner where it's like, no, you change oil, you get paid $8. That's it.
TV host. That's the next job up.
TV host, yeah.
It's like, oh, why don't you become a celebrity chef if you work at McDonald's? Why don't you try that?
I guess that would be his too. That does make sense. Take this McDonald's experience, go to a restaurant that pays more, become the best chef in the city.
That's just not.
I don't know. I mean, there's just
doable,
and even you cannot even live on like $15 an hour. You're probably going to be doing other stuff to make money. Yeah, that's the world that we live in. It's, you know, in some places it goes a little farther, but minimum wage right now just means you have to do illegal shit. You have to rob, steal, sell drugs,
work 3 jobs.
Or work 3 jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they won't even give you full-time jobs anymore, too.
I know, you got to work 3 part-time.
You're working 3 22-hour-a-week jobs.
Yeah, exactly. That all have their own demands, too. That you're then being torn in pieces by 3 different bosses that you have to deal with in your life. Or, like, you know, it's like I get off my shift at Applebee's and then I fucking jump in my car and turn on the Uber app.
Yep.
And go drive that all fucking night to make my rent. You know?
Yeah, and this is like, so you are literally advocating for a lower class. Like, you are literally advocating for people that are struggling to get by, that are always living in scarcity, and their entire lives are dictated by the oil and gas industry, by big business. They have to chase jobs. They have to move out of places if they want to be redeveloped. You are a fucking monster, Micro.
Yeah.
If you ever hear this, you're a fucking monster.
Here's more of his explanation. Those jobs are ways for people to get experience in the workforce doing a thing that might not necessarily pay you as much as you'd like, but nevertheless serves a real purpose, he added. Let me say this, though. He acts like it's the amateurs. Oh, you know, you have to go work at one of these horrible places for $9 an hour or $7 an hour. And it's like, you know what, dude? I would fucking buy that if everybody had to do that. But not everybody has to do that. Only certain people have to do that. That then are stuck in a cycle of shit, you know, that is that is quicksand. That is very hard to get out of. You know, we said it early in the show, but I see me not being in that world, not as me making it out of a thing, but as me being kicked out of a thing. You know what I mean? Out of like the working world, like we see it as that we washed out.
Yeah.
Of capitalism, and this is just, we got lucky and this is what we do. You know? But like I think that like I felt like I was drowning the whole time I was working. And you know, when I was making $15 an hour to do cable, I mean, in Mike Rowe's world, I should have been making a lot more money. I think even starting out at $9.50, and I started out at $9.50 an hour at that fucking job.
Yeah.
You know, so for 5 or 6 years, I was making less than $15 an hour. I was making way less than $15 an hour. And like, I wasn't like getting fairly compensated for my time or my money. And like, this was supposed to be the dream job. Or let's talk about construction, right? Where it's like, well, maybe you should do construction. Okay, what jobs are there? Well, you can be a roofer. How much does roofing pay? Minimum wage, you know,
Right.
or just above minimum wage. I made $9.50 an hour when I did that too, you know? And it's just like, there's so many things that he adds on top of like the requirements for being a person in this world, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I hate him for it, you know?
Yeah, and I also absolutely picture a fucking world where you could go to a restaurant and somebody that works there a really long time and likes doing it, you know? I
Yeah.
saw Mags McClue post about wanting to work as a barista because they worked there for like several years and watched like kids go from being 10 to like graduating high school and shit. And there was people come in every single day. There's people you see every single day. And that's a rewarding communal good experience that in providing a service. I don't see why it's like, well, if you're going to choose to just give coffee to people in the morning, you should live in hell. You know, it's like, why not? Why can't you just retire on that?
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
Why don't you have a house in retirement?
We've talked about it, but like, I only got out of working at pizza shops and shit because I couldn't live on the money that you make at a fucking pizza shop. I fucking loved working at the pizza shop.
Yeah.
I also love my dishwashing job at the golf club. I loved that fucking job.
I was also very proud of the way I drove a forklift and put boxes away and could stack and the numbers I could hit. But then they're like, you know, you've worked here for 4 years now. You get a quarter raise. You get 25 cents an hour raise. You know, you're like doing the math and you're thinking you're going to get like $30 or $40 extra a month, and it's like, oh wait, you're going to get taxed on that too. There's $20 extra a month. Make it work.
Yeah, that's what my wife just got a raise, and it was one of the highest merit increases you could get. And we did the math, and it's like $40 a month. Fucking, she's been at this place for almost 25 years at this place, and they fucking give you $40 a month. I worry that the path to a skill trade can be compromised when you offer an artificially high wage for, I hate the expression, but an unskilled job.
Oh, God.
So to me, the brightest...
He doesn't know the meaning of the word.
Yeah, unskilled job.
It doesn't exist.
I agree. Every job's a fucking skill. It doesn't matter what you do. I can't think of a job that's not a skill. Cop.
They all require a specific set of knowledge that is only you can do. Only you can do. You can't just plug somebody in.
Like, you couldn't walk into McDonald's and work there today.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Without any training at all. You couldn't just walk in and be like, I'm making hamburgers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you're making hamburgers. You can't do that.
Yeah, or know how to pace the food so that it gets out and it doesn't all come out at the same time.
Or the amounts that you put on there's very specific amounts of food that go on the burgers.
Yeah.
There's very specific amount of like the condiments and, you know, how to drop fries when you're supposed to drop fries. You know what I mean? Like, I worked there. I worked there, and I don't think I could walk in and work at a McDonald's now. Like, I might be able to.
Yeah.
Because I just remember the process. But, I mean, that I would be willing to. I couldn't, but here's something. I couldn't walk into Burger King and work.
Yeah.
Or Wendy's. I couldn't, because they do things completely different from McDonald's. But this is unskilled. It's all fucking unskilled work.
Anybody can do this.
Yeah, anybody can do this. I mean, I can't believe that this. So to me, the brightest line needs to be drawn between skilled and unskilled work. We need to encourage more people to learn a skill that's actually in demand, he said. How is working at Target not in demand? Like, I think working at Target's in demand. They always have a now hiring sign at the front of the place. They always have a now hiring sign at Taco Bell and at McDonald's and at fucking any of these jobs that you would call a minimum wage job are in demand. How many times have you gone into a fucking waffle? Well, we talked about this on Sunday, right? How many times have you gone to a Waffle House and somebody didn't show up for a shift and one fucking person was running the whole shift? Like, these jobs are like in these are jobs that need to get done. Like, we don't have enough people to even do the ones that are happening now.
Yeah.
You know?
And this is like that Republican ass shit where they make all these rules to fuck up the post office, and they're like, you can't just artificially change the price for sending mail. You fucked it up. The post office lost all this money. It's because where Republicans decided to do with it. I feel this is the same where it's like, I hate the service at fast food. The people are idiots. It's unskilled. They don't deserve anything. But if you could go to your job at McDonald's and not have to worry about making ends meet, you might get better service. I think if somebody went to McDonald's and didn't have to call WIC on the phone to get like free peanut butter, that's women, infants, and children. I don't know if Ohio has that, but it's like supplemental programs from the government. McDonald's makes profit and then also distributes literature about SNAP benefits to their employees.
Yes.
And so if you're in that kind of a situation, if you're working 40, 50 hours and your check is going to be under $400 for the week, how the fuck are you supposed to focus on your job? And like he said, nobody's supposed to be here for a long time. Nobody's supposed to think of it that this is a career. So you have just people that are temporarily there that don't want to be there, that don't give a fuck, and you have constant turnover, and the whole thing is a clusterfuck.
Why would you care?
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a reason to care at McDonald's. I worked there for 3 months when I was in high school. And if I'm not intended to stay here, then I don't give a shit about this place. I'm not invested at all in this place. And that's another thing with like wages. If you pay more, people are invested. People will want to work there. It will attract people too to working at this place.
Yeah.
That maybe it wouldn't have attracted before.
Yeah, instead you've decided you'll only pay $8 an hour to get this thing done, and so you just funnel people through the door and fucking use them up and then kick them out.
Right. So you take the people who are maybe people that are really good at the job, and they come in there and they are supposed to understand from the day they get there that you're not going to make a career here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They walk through that door on the first day. It doesn't matter how fucking good you are at the job. It's not gonna matter to anybody. Really, you might not get noticed at all, number one. And usually you got to snitch on people to move up in any company.
Yeah.
So like that's gonna tie people out. But if you paid people a living wage, the other reason the service would get better there is because people would work there longer.
Yeah.
And that's just that they all become good at their job.
They would have skills.
Getting very fucking pissed off at the people in the drive, at the person running the drive-thru, at the person on the speaker for not like understanding what you're saying or not getting a part of your order right is so fucking unfair because that person's probably worked there. That was the first job I did at McDonald's. When I first started there, the first thing I did was drive through the second window. I did second drive through window.
Okay.
And then I moved up, didn't get paid more or anything, but then to the back drive through window. And most of the time when you hear people complain about McDonald's, it's a drive through. That's the newest employees at the fucking McDonald's, Mm-hmm. And we're just pissed off at them. They're giving shit equipment. Those headsets fucking suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like a cash register is not just something that you can walk in and there's picture, like there's not just a picture of a Big Mac on a thing and then you press that and then you press the money sign and then you're like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's some person screaming at you through a shitty speaker and you're trying to find the button on the fucking cash register to do the thing while you collect money from the person that's sitting out of the window and fucking screaming at you about something or another. And then you just do that all night until like 11 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. And then don't even get me started about at 2 o'clock in the morning when they only staff the places with one person. And you drive by on a fucking Thursday, Friday, or Saturday and look at the line reaching out into the fucking street because 1 or 2 people are working at McDonald's in the middle of the night because you can't fucking pay them $17 an hour to do it, even though it would be no skin off the company's back.
Yep.
That's the show.
That's Mike Rowe.
Fuck Mike Rowe. And hey, you know, we did it. We did a Mike Rowe show. Tell all your friends to come and check it out. You know, come for the Jason's fart at the beginning and stay for the Mike Rowe analysis.
It's great. Thanks for listening to what we do here and support us as always on patreon.com. I will see you on Sunday. Peace.